Dead Island 2 is probably one of gaming's most highly anticipated video games, being announced as far back as 2014 with a really crazy and really intense and detailed trailer, but nothing really coming out of the game after that. It's only now really in 2022 of where we actually had an official announcement trailer, and not shortly thereafter an official gameplay trailer. There's been many things here and there, many leaks, many whatever, and speculation about the game, but Dead Island 2 is finally coming and it's being developed. Now, I want to read up about some information that you probably knew or didn't know, but it reads as follows. Dead Island 2 is an up-and-coming action role-playing game developed by Dambuster Studios and published by Deep Silver for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It is the sequel to the 2011 video game Dead Island and the third installment in the Dead Island series. Set several months after the events of Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, Dead Island 2 differentiates itself from its predecessor by taking place in the city of Los Angeles, which has been quarantined due to zombie outbreak. The game is scheduled to be released on April 28, 2023. Announced in 2014, the game has undergone difficult development period due to multiple changes with the studios working on it. Yager Development was originally hired to develop Dead Island 2 in 2012, but was removed from the project in 2015 and replaced by Sumo Digital the following year. Sumo Digital was also removed with a Dambuster, and an internal studio of Deep Silver becoming the developers in 2019. So as you can see, the game had a pretty difficult launch and announcement and everything, so it pretty much goes as far as to see why the game took so long to come out, because of a lot of new developers and there being so many things. But the truth is that, like, there's a little bit of information about Dead Island 2, and here it is. And pretty much what it says is that Techland was originally set to develop Dead Island 2, but instead they decided to focus on developing Dying Light. With Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, Deep Silver went looking for a developer until Yager Development pitched the game to Deep Silver in Q3 2012 and got the deal. Yager established a new division, Yager Productions GmbH, for development of Dead Island 2. As announced at Sony's E3 media briefing, Dead Island 2 will be more vibrant than its predecessor. The game was originally scheduled for a Q2 2015 release. Now, as you can see, the other thing is that the developers of Dying Light pretty much made Dead Island, or the people who made Dead Island pretty much had a lot to do with Dying Light. So there should be a lot of mechanics and features from Dying Light, specifically that with being gameplay and being strategy, and the mechanics of the game should be a lot like Dying Light, but it should function as a Dead Island game, because Dead Island wasn't necessarily that fast paced. It was a very slow paced, but there were times where the game could get intense. And let me talk a little bit about the gameplay for you. Dead Island 2 takes place in an open world Los Angeles and San Francisco. The game's combat has different mechanics than its predecessors. Dead Island 2 also includes several features from its predecessors, such as the rage and crafting system. Now, the crafting system in Dead Island was pretty good. You could craft a plethora of many weapons and stuff. The only issue I had with the game is that you had to go to many various different locations. Now, honestly, seeing the trailer, what I wanted to feel like I'm playing a brand new game. Dead Island was a cool game, but the trailers and the gameplay didn't match. Specifically that with Dead Island 1, like the cinematic trailer for Dead Island was amazing. I don't know how many awards that won, but it was probably one of the best, most theatrical and cinematic trailers I've ever seen. Specifically that with the first announcement of Dead Island 2. The trailer was amazing. These guys really pulled out all their cards for these trailers, and it's crazy to see. Now, honestly, my concern is that I don't want the game to feel too much like the first Dead Island game. If it's nicely paced and the mechanics and the physics and the parkour mechanics, jumping, hopping and stuff is better, it might be a good game. It might bring back the Dead Island series. And honestly, there isn't really too much information out there, and I'm not really speculating too much. I'm just basing off of what I've read and what I've seen. The trailer looks good. The gameplay looks solid. So the only thing we have left to do is for the game to come out so it can be judged. and I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to be high spirited about it. I don't have anything necessarily bad to say about the game, but I don't want it to be too bland and repetitive. I don't want repetitive side quests. I don't want too many collectibles. I don't want the whole shebang of doing the same thing over and over again. But we shall have to see what happens with this Dying Light 2. It looks okay so far, so it's in development still. But yes, let's keep in high hopes and high spirits. This is the Chilly Man saying, I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for all the support, all the comments, all the love, all the subs. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Chilly Man signing off. Peace out.